thousands of great classical pieces out there. As a beginner, you might be wondering, I want to work on a great piece that is manageable for my level, but where do I start? Hi, my name is Jayza, I'm a pianist, and in this video I want to share with you 5 easy classical pieces that you shouldn't skip as a beginner. In each piece I will play the start and briefly explain to you from a teacher's perspective why these are great pieces to work on. All 5 pieces I've selected in this video are fun, beautiful, and famous. And on top of that, you will also learn many musical skills and concepts that will later help you to play even harder stuff in the future. I will count them down from the easiest to the hardest piece, so make sure you stick to the end to find out what number 1 is. Before we get to the countdown, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel so you stay in touch with more of these free piano lessons and tutorials. Okay, number 5 on the list is... and so on and so forth. So number 5 on the list is the Bach Prelude in C. Now we all know this is a beautiful piece, but let me share with you why it's a great piece to study. The piece is in C major, which means there are not too many black keys. It does change keys every now and then, so there are a couple of sharps and flats. But basically from the start to the end, most of it are white keys, so a great piece to learn for a beginner. It's also filled with repeating patterns, so if you looked on the score there, it's filled with this arpeggios pattern, bum, 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 and it's like that basically throughout the entire piece, just with different notes. So you learn one pattern and you apply it to basically the entire piece. So quite a good little piece to start for beginners. This piece will also teach you a lot about chords. So this piece is filled with broken chords. So this first one here, if you were to play it all together, this is actually a C major chord, right? It's just broken up. And the next one is a D minor 7 chord with 7 in the bottom. Now, if what I'm saying doesn't really make sense to you, it doesn't matter, but it's still good to start playing pieces and just get a feel for chord shapes on the piano. So great for learning chords, the Bach Prelude in C. Okay, moving on to number 4 on our list. Number 4 is... so on and so forth. So this one is the Gymnopédie number 1 by Erik Satie. As you could hear, a really peaceful and calming piece. I always love playing this after coming home from a stressful day of work. It just really calms me down and it makes me feel happy. So aside from creating beautiful music, what this piece will really help you to do is also develop a sense of volume control between your 2 hands. So in piano playing, most of the time, right hand is playing the melody and left hand's playing the harmony, right? So right hand generally needs to be louder than the left hand. So let me show you. Okay, for most of the time when beginners start to play this piece, they play something like that. So how did that sound to you? Hopefully you can pick up that the first time of playing in this video was a bit better than the second time. And that's because in the second time of playing, the right hand and left hand was playing at the same volume, which is not effective for this piece, right? If we play them at the same volume, the left hand sort of covers up the right hand. this is not good. The right way to do it is, let's say you're playing out of 10. This might be playing at a level 7 out of 10 for the right hand. And left hand, you should probably play at maybe about a level 3. So something like that. Much softer. Just in the background, right? And try to really bring this one out. Did you hear that? So a lot nicer control there, a lot nicer balance there. So this is what this piece is really great for, just trying to build a nice balance between your different hands. Okay, moving on to number 3 on our list. So we all know this one. This is Für Elise by Beethoven. Now, what is this piece good for? I think the Für Elise is really good for legato playing. Now, what's legato? L-E-G-A-T-O. Legato playing means smooth playing, which means connecting each note to the next note. So for example, this is legato. This next one is not legato. So as a beginner pianist, one of the things that is really important to develop is a really good legato playing, right? So how to join. So legato playing is not easy to master, right? Because you're dealing with really, really fine movements. So legato playing basically is you want to play a note, and as you strike the next note, then do you lift the first note up. And you're dealing with this sort of millisecond fine tuning. So Für Elise is really good for building a good sense of legato playing. So Für Elise is also really good for working on a piece that moves around the keyboard. If you're a beginner pianist, you might find that a lot of your pieces are sort of confined to a position. So for example, in C position, right? Something like that. And Für Elise is really good for just basically widening your range, right? Giving you something to work on that widens your range. So for example, do you see that? So the range of the notes you need now start from this E up to that E over there. So just a nice piece to start to extend your range from these confined simple positions. Now moving on to number 2 of our list. This one is personally my favorite one out of the 5. Number 2 is so on and so forth. So number 2 on the list is the Chopin Prelude number 4 in E minor. This is a fantastic piece to work on because it will teach you lots about chords. So you could see here from the sheet music that the left hand was playing a whole bunch of these 3-note chords, right? That are just so hauntingly beautiful. So it's really great for the left hand to learn these chord shapes. Now, one of the challenging things about this piece is because the left hand is playing all these 3-note chords and the right hand is playing just a single note melody, it can be hard to balance the volume of your hands, just like the gymnopédie example that was mentioned before in the video, right? So most beginners might start to play something like that. So as you could hear there, this wasn't a very polished sound because there wasn't a nice balance between them, right? The left and right hand were playing pretty much at the same volume. So what we want to do is just to refine our touch a little bit. So this may be playing at level 7, this may be playing at level 3. Stand out more. So on and so forth. And moving now to number 1. Number 1 is this piece. So on and so forth. So number 1 on the list is Moonlight Sonata Movement 1 by Beethoven. Now, aside from the absolute beauty of this piece, there are also some great educational benefits of learning this piece. The first one is chords. Now, in this particular piece, it's the right hand that are playing the chords. So if you were to, at the start, there are these broken chords. If you were to join them together, it's a great piece to just... It's a great piece to learn to understand these chord shapes on the piano. Another great benefit of learning the Moonlight Sonata is the right hand split voicing. Now this is not easy to do, but it can be a great challenge. So towards bar 5 here, so you have your... I don't know if you can see what's happening here. The right hand is sort of like playing 2 voices. I was playing that a lot louder than this inner voice of. So just have a look again. So not easy to do, a really great and educational challenge for beginners. And last but not least, the Moonlight Sonata is in C sharp minor, which means it has 4 sharps to begin with. And even throughout the piece, there are lots of sharps throughout. So this piece in particular, for me, when I was learning as a child, it really made me more comfortable with sharps. They used to scare me a lot, but after working on this piece, I got more comfortable with key signatures, and of course, in particular, C sharp minor, and knowing what sharps to play. So knowing which are black keys and which are white keys. Okay, and there you go, guys. That concludes the 5 easy classical pieces that I think no one should skip. Which one of these 5 are your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know if there are any other beginner piano classical pieces that you think other beginners should learn. Comment below, please. That's all for today. Catch you in the next video, guys.